Anyways, guys, well, first of all, once again, welcome and thank you very much for coming to our office hours on Thursday, April 30th. We're going to
Woo!
celebrate our first month doing these. I think this is, or are we, did we celebrate already? I'm actually not sure. This may actually be our first month. But anyways, thankful, amazingly and incredibly thankful that everybody that's in the call could make the call today. Really appreciate your support. As I always do at the beginning of each of our little calls, I'd like to give a little bit tidbit of information. And today, I'm actually going to talk. A question that we always get asked is, well, we post on social media, or we're going to post on social media. Um, what is it that I post? Right? How is it that I come up with ideas? What is it that we need to do? So with that in mind, I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you a little bit about the process that we go through. Now, I know some of you may have already gone through this, so it's going to be a great time to actually check in with you, with those of you that have gone through this. And in our open question, here it is. Okay, cool. So can everybody see my screen? Thumbs up? Yeah, nodding. Fantastic. So what you guys see here is our social media content calendar. Basically what we do is we set up, sorry, music was still playing. We set up for every single one of the accounts that we manage, we set this up, and this is our high level way of planning. Now, this template that you see here is we adapted it from Hootsuite. Hootsuite actually has this template downloadable. We just adapted it and made it ours. So what we do is 2-3 weeks ahead, we go onto this calendar, onto this template, and we start writing our ideas of what it is that we think the content that we're going to be creating. It gives us two things primarily. One, a very big overview of the topics that we're going to be talking about. And two, it lets us know the kind of material or content that we need to produce. So for example, if we need, hold on, I think somebody's in chat. Oh yeah, okay, cool. So, if we're working with a client and we need videos, we know what videos and what topics it is, and we can actually go ahead and plan ahead. Now, if you're doing social media yourself, this is a great opportunity, and I know we've talked about this in the past, of you creating your own little list of videos, and maybe, I don't know, take Sunday or take Monday, whatever day works for you, and actually film those videos. And now you already have the material, you have time set aside, and then it's, at least in our experience, it's a little bit easier to actually get the content out. So I'm gonna run through some of this template. First thing we have, of course, is we have the social media platforms we're posting for. We have a date, we have a time, and then we have a goal. Now, some of you have heard me talk about our 10-for-1 method, and it's actually a method a method that is taught by Kurt Malley at the Belt Method. Anyways, we're talking about creating content. Let me step back. So remember that social media platforms to connect with people. The worst thing that I recommend doing is trying to sell your product directly to those people. So with that in mind, we create this 10-for-1, which means that out of 15 posts, every 10 posts are going to be for entertaining or engaging people. 4 posts are going to be informational, and 1 post is going to be promotional. And basically what this template does is it keeps us on track, right? So I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to create an engagement post, I'm going to create an informational post, or I'm going to create a promotional or conversion post. The next thing that we have in this template is, well, what kind of content is it that we're going to create? Is it going to be a blog post? Is it going to be a live video? Is it going to be a stock image, right? One of those images that you can download from Unsplash, for example. Or is it just going to be text? I have this here. I do not recommend just posting text unless it's a very short sentence, because then Facebook sort of formats it on a graphic type, right? After that, the next column that we have here is the type of posts, right? So for example, I can say, you know what? My goal for this post, for this platform, is going to be to engage people. I'm going to do a short video, And in that short video, I'm actually going to tell a joke. I don't have any jokes right now, otherwise I would do it. But technically speaking, now you actually have a baseline of or a high level idea of what it is that you're planning for that particular week in time, right? With that, you can create a list of the products or the content that you need to produce. So for example, I would go on my camera or on my phone and tell a joke that is going to be funny for me. Now, again, my purpose is going to be engagement. The content is that short video. The type of post is going to be a joke, right? And of course, here I can put what it is that I want to say on the copy of the post. So I would say something along the lines of, actually, you know what? Let me do it here because we use this we use this template for a bunch of stuff. I don't know, knock knock joke, right? Sorry, no, this is my social copy. My topic would be a knock knock joke. And my copy would be, I don't know, what did the elephant tell the giraffe? By the way, anybody know what the elephant told the giraffe? No? Neither do
How's the
I.
weather
So
up there? Yeah.
sorry?
I was going to say, how's the weather up there, but that was a pretty bad answer.
That was actually fairly funny. So so something that we like doing with this is you know, you bring your personality out a little bit, right? And usually you can be a little more compatible with people that have your same personality. For those of you who know me a little bit better, you know I try to be at least I always joke around and I'm laughing. I love laughing. I love laughing at silly jokes. Like I literally found your joke funny, Jacob. Um, and I saw some serious faces on the call, but anyways, and of course, if you have any links that you want to add, or of course any notes or any specific images, right? So here would be something along the lines of, well, for the video you wouldn't add a specific image, but here maybe Bailey, by the way, who's, as most of you know, my right hand woman when it comes to the deliverables. She would type something like, I don't know, Efren needs to record, right? And then once you actually go down your list, day by day, date by date, you can actually start having that idea or that 40,000 or 20,000 foot view with your goals in mind. Now, something that I always talk about is that your social media is only as effective as what your goal is. And a big pitfall of a lot of us, of what a lot of us do in social media is we put something, say for example, extreme example, I put this joke out and I'm like, I didn't get any clients from it. If my goal is that I'm going to get engagement, then I have to measure the success of my campaigns with the goal, right? Did a lot of people like it? Did they share it? Did they comment on it? Did a lot of people do, you know, like laughing emojis, sad emojis, angry emojis? Those are still good reactions, right? Good engagements. Maybe not the one you want for for your joke, but they're still pretty good engagements. So yeah, that's basically this is our process. Obviously, after this, what do we do? After we plan it out, we go and we have our platform that schedules automatically into different social media channels. Right now, we're using Sendable. We were using Planable before that. But you can also go into, say, for example, if you're doing this for Facebook or Instagram, you can actually go into Facebook, Instagram yourself, and you can actually schedule this out, right? I recommend you take a few hours out of your week to plan this out, and then you get it done. You get it all done, right? Like it's already done for the rest of the week, and you don't have to worry about it on a day by day or on a every other day. I found that when I talk to people that are struggling with social media, it's usually, or rather social media content is usually because they're working, they're in the middle of the day on Thursday at 12:45 p.m. and suddenly they're like, oh my God, I forgot to post. And then you're scrambling to see what it is that you're going to post, right? This gives you, or at least for us, in our experience, it gives us a better way of planning them out and not and being in that headspace, right, for a couple hours. This is all I'm thinking. This is the message I want to come across. I want to share, rather. This is the image I want to portray. Boom, I'm done for that week. I'm done for those 2 weeks, whatever it is that actually works for you. And with that in mind, yeah, do you guys have any questions? I'm going to open the floor up here for questions about this.
How do you constantly come up with new ideas or do you kind of cycle through ideas and different things?
Bailey's the one that does this, and she's sitting right next to me. So she's telling me both. Cycle through ideas. Google is great help. Sorry. Don't say this to anybody, but of course, some main research is competitors. Of course, we look at what they're doing, see what their engagement is. Something else that we do is we go back into previous posts. We see what's actually hitting the best with our audience, and maybe we double down on that. Yeah, and there's like, once you actually start looking at this, and by the way, we'll send this template to everybody in this call right now. But once you actually, for example, if you go to the type of posts, like, let's think about this right now, Lori.
Yeah.
Let's do a how-to. How many how-tos? What can you share with your community that you think would be valuable?
Yeah, the how-to is, for my industry, is a huge one, and also walking people through, the projects.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right. So, for example, you would have a type of post that here would say something along like walkthrough or something like that, right? Maybe you can do a bigger how-to, and we put their blog, but it could be vlog, of course, right? A video blog. You can do a longer video, like a 5-minute video on, I don't know, best palettes or best color palettes for your kitchen. By the way, I'm not sure if that's valid. I'm just throwing it out there, right? Or
it is actually a popular one.
I think so.
Yeah, because color stumps people all the time.
Absolutely, and then something that we do, and we do it, of course, for ourselves and our clients is, and we know it's pretty big, is talking about the messaging the color sends, right? What does a color represent, and what is it that we may be doing? So, for example, if I have my office, I know for myself, or rather for Bailey and for me, if we painted the office red, it probably wouldn't work. Right? We would probably, our tension level would be high. So we have it on this blue color, right?
Calming.
Yeah. So maybe that could be a how-to combine and make sure that those colors match the decor or the colors of your house.
I'm always confused about neutrals. Like, you say, I want something white, and then you go and there's 900 different whites.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what to pick.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, like, I'm pretty lucky in my industry because so much of it is visual. And, all of these platforms want something visual. Where I'm so impressed is where Efren comes up with, and Bailey comes up with all of these ideas for businesses that it's more cerebral. The commodity that they're selling, like, just so impressive.
Well, and you know what? We can, I think sorry, you know what, guys? My audio is still sharing. My computer's making a lot of noises. Billy and I were both like, oh my God, what is that?
I was wondering where that was coming from.
Yeah, that's my computer. I just have a lot of alerts. Yeah, absolutely, Lori. But and again, this is more of a framework, right? So, for example, Eleni, for you, maybe the framework is going to skew a little bit more onto the informational side than it is on the entertainment side, right? Because I think within your industry, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think within your industry, there's a lot of education that you have to do.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
your rapid release method. I think that's what you call it. That's like unheard of,
Right.
right? It could sound like voodoo.
It kind of is. Yeah.
Or I know we were having a conversation before, and you have your hypnosis sessions in your Facebook group, and my first reaction was like, and I shared that with you. I was like, whoa, that sounds like I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm like, what, you're gonna make me like eat an onion as an apple?
Squawk like a chicken or whatever.
There you go. And
Right.
you know, you only did that once to me. I'm just kidding. No, you've never done it. No, but there is a lot of information value that you can start providing to your audience, right? And I can actually think, for example, for the hypnosis thing, you can actually do like a little, or find a little meme of somebody actually doing one of these funny things of what people say of hypnosis, and then something along the text or along the lines of like, this is not what I do, right?
Right. Unless you want me to.
Well, yes. At least this is not what you regularly do.
Right.
So, so going back to you, Lori, like if, and again, we'll send you guys a template, but if you go through some of the things like how-tos, right? And you sit down, I know you have an awesome team yourself, and you sit down or send an email, say, hey, what are the how-tos? Eleni's point was fantastic, right? When white is not white, how many whites can there actually be available? I found that a fantastic topic, right? And from my experience, a lot of people like more uplifting things, right? So we've had different series in terms of like motivational Mondays or joke or get over the hump Wednesdays with a joke. And again, I think the efforts have to be measured on what the goal is, right? If your goal is to inform people by driving traffic into your blog, then that is your goal, right? If your goal is to put a meme there that gets reactions, then measure your efforts on the goal. And I think that's a very big pitfall that sometimes we fall into. But yeah, thanks for.
I think that's key is, sorry, Doran's yelling at the dog. That's all good.
We can't hear you though.
Okay. So that's key is setting your goals right on the onset. Like, what is your business goal? And this is the medium you're using. Like, for example, my goal with social media is not only the knowledge, but to show knowledge, experience, and my personality. Like that, to me, that's really important. And every so often, like I'll break out this shirt or my jersey or something on social media, and that's when you see the hits. That's when you see people engage, and really that ends up being the goal, is getting the engagement. Or like Efren, with my dog, he's put my dog on there, and that's the one that gets the most engagement. Well, that shows personality too, because you're an animal lover person. So yeah.
Yeah, and within that, like for example, for Randy, I don't know if you've seen Randy, but one of the posts that and we help him with his social media, but one of the posts that we did for him was him and his new tractor. People loved it. Yeah, people love the fact that you're out there in your farm, like in your space, in your new tractor.
I was going to ask how the engagement was on that one. It looked pretty good, but
I
didn't see the engagement.
Yeah, we did fairly well. People like you and your tractor, apparently.
Well, as soon as the ground dries up, I'll get lots of pictures of me in the tractor planting tomatoes and peppers and whatever, right?
There you go.
Right
But
now,
anyways,
it won't stop raining.
I know. Isn't that good though?
Yeah, no, not when you can't work the ground because it's so wet.
Right.
I tried driving my tractor out into the field. It sank about 6 inches, and I went like 2 feet. That was it. And I actually had to use the bucket to push myself back out.
Oh wow! I didn't know it would get that bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
That ground's pretty wet.
Yeah, but does that answer your question a little bit, Lori?
Yes. Yeah. I just am so curious, and I know this is why this is your niche of expertise. Like how a company like yours just comes up with all these ideas, because I'm just one person trying to come up with ideas for one company, and you guys are like coming up with ideas for, dozens of companies. It's like, holy, your brain must feel like it's going to explode, or you audio tape, especially because you guys both work together. You must, audio tape your conversations because you're throwing ideas around all the time. So
but I
Bailey,
find that for other people, sometimes you can get more ideas, right? Because you're looking on the outside. Like Lori, I can think of a million things I want to know about your business and what I'd love to see, right? But when you're in it, sometimes you're like, oh, that's boring, or no one cares, or right? So I don't know. My husband has a part-time handyman job, and I do his Facebook page, and I'm always like, we need to get you doing this, and you should do a live, blah, blah. And he's like, so yeah.
To your comment, Lori, truth be told, my head doesn't explode with all this, because Bailey's the one that does it. So she said yes. So she said yes. Sometimes her head does explode, and I know sometimes that yeah, she's like, oh my god, but yeah, she does a fantastic job.
oh my gosh. Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. So after, as usually, you guys know the format, and actually, you know what? Maybe that's a great idea, Lainey. Maybe Bailey, can you just note this? Like, let's try to find a platform where we can each collaborate on what, I don't know how yet, but how, like, topics that we could each want to know about each other's business, and that could be like part of our social media strategy, right?
Well, I just jotted down while you guys were talking that I want to post in my group, what do you want to know about what
There
I
you
do?
go.
I mean, in better words,
Fantastic.
right? Because that
Yeah.
just kind of clicks something with me, right? What do you guys want to know about the weird thing that I do, right? Like, what questions do you have?
And actually, this is something that we can all be doing.
Yeah.
Actually, right? Post it on your social media. Hey, what do you want to know?
How about creating a poll?
Yeah.
Maybe there's some topics, or just so that you get the engagement for that one. Because I think
Yeah, poll would be great.
say, what do you want to know from me? Personally, I think people just skip by it because it's too much effort.
Well, and they might not even know what they can, like,
Yeah.
what they might want to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, poll, perfect.
But yeah, you can, like, that's a fantastic idea. There you go. That's good. We'll try to think if there's any way we can support that effort with I can't think of a platform off the top of my head right now, but let us think, and we'll let you know, because that's I think there's value in that. And yes. So anyways, guys, what else do we have in store for today? Like, what other questions do we have? What else can we help you guys with? If you guys hear squeaking, it's a dog toy or two that is being squeaked. As I share that, sometimes it seems that when I get on Zoom calls, the dogs like to play.
I have a question.
Please.
So I know that your feedback was that my posts you guys found a little bit salesy, and I thought they were being educational. And so, I tend to do a lot of testimonials and a lot of those kind of educational, like, wow, these results are crazy, because I feel like it's just something people can't even perceive as possible, right? So, like, what's the line? You know what I mean? Like, how do you kind of scale that back yet still, like, is it okay to do a lot of testimonials? Because I've got tons. Is it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to feel like I'm bombarding people with, sales things. So that's not my intention, but I really want to educate people so they know how cool this is. Does that make sense?
Question. Are we talking testimonials that people leave you on Google, or video testimonials?
Both. People leave me, so whenever someone's done working with me, they write a testimonial, and then I take parts of it, right, for my social media, or I put the whole one on my website. like on Canva, I'll do up a little,
Yep.
thing.
So let's think about this, right? So this is sort of the thought process that sometimes we go through. So what is the goal of posting a testimonial?
So my goal is that a lot of people think what I do is too good to be true, and they don't believe it will work for them. Or they just think that's just crazy voodoo and it's not going to do anything, right?
Okay. So from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're trying to inform people, right? So now basically, if we look at your strategy and instead of doing 10 for 1, we do, 7-6-1, then one of your 6 posts can actually be a testimonial.
Okay.
Right? And then play around with it, especially if you have a lot. Now you actually have a lot of content, and then you can do testimonial Thursdays.
Okay.
Right? Or testimonial Tuesdays. Billy just told me testimonial Tuesday sounds better.
Okay.
And then throw a testimonial every Tuesday, right? And then your people are going to know that every Tuesday a testimonial is coming. And now there's something else that I don't talk a lot about because I don't think it's part of the fundamental of social media. But remember that Facebook has its own data machine on the back end, right? And if you look at Facebook's goal, for example, and I talk about Facebook a lot because that's just the biggest elephant in the room. But if you look at Facebook, what they're trying to do is they're trying to put people together, bring businesses together, connect people. And they're always looking at your at the kind of content and the frequency of the content that comes out of your page. So if you're already giving Facebook's quote unquote algorithm content, fresh content, regular content, they're going to keep adding more, again, quote unquote, points to your page, and they're going to increase the relevancy of what you do, right? So yeah, keep that just when you're doing like a theme, just keep that in mind, keep track of it, measure it, and see how your people are reacting. But everything that you think about, I would actually try to, again, this is our opinion, I would actually try to put it into that, okay, am I going to engage? Am I going to entertain people? Am I going to inform them? Or am I trying to actually promote my business? Right? Your testimonial for me would be informational, so I would schedule it within that informational category.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
It does, yeah. I mean, I just, and some of my posts that aren't testimonials, I don't want things to come across as salesy, you know what I mean? I'm just not sure if sometimes it might what I think is information is coming across as too, intense.
I think your first step is going to be to move away from everything is going to be informational.
So more fun, life type of things.
Yes, let's switch it to entertainment engagement. And then I think if we sprinkle some of these information in between those, you're going to find, or rather as a reader, and again, that's just my opinion, as a reader, I'm going to find that your posts are not as promotional because they're sprinkled with everything else.
Cool. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then go from there, right? Let's obviously do that. Let's reconvene after, and we'll definitely take a look and let you know our opinion.
Cool.
Can I ask a question that elaborates on what you were discussing with Eleni?
No. Of course,
okay,
Laurie, please.
We're good.
No, Laurie, please.
You talk about the back end information, but where do you find it and what does it mean?
I'm sorry, the what, sorry?
So you were talking about the background analytics. So Facebook in particular is what you said. So where do you find it and what does it mean when you're actually in there looking at stuff?
So if you go to your Facebook page, on the top, you're going to see a section that says Insights.
Okay.
If you click on that, is going to give you a beautiful array of data that Facebook has collected on your page. So you're going to get the number of likes, you're going to get a number of followers, you're going to get engagement. At the bottom section, you're going to see posts. And at the bottom, you're actually going to see the engagement of every single post you have.
Cool.
Yeah.
I rarely go into Facebook. I'm really hyper focused on Instagram and
because you're very visual though, right?
yeah, but they are the same company, so
They are.
I should probably take a look at.
And again, for me,
Analytics.
Facebook is like the umbrella, right? They're just the biggest ones that are going to. They're the ones that are going to have the biggest reach and the biggest demographic spectrum, right? For every business, you can probably find a group that's in Facebook. Excuse me.
But the Facebook side of my business is like so much smaller than the followers on Instagram, even though the content is like almost identical.
Yeah, again, because your content is very visual, you're going to have more people going to your engaging with your Instagram content, right?
Mm-hmm.
But remember that there's stuff on Facebook that you can't do on Instagram. In terms of promotions and stuff like that, right? Like for example, actually setting a promotion with a direct link. You know, I know on Instagram you can do your contact and bio, but it's just two different platforms with two different goals.
Okay, so there is a difference between the two.
Yes.
Okay.
Lori, do you have a private Facebook group?
I don't have a private Facebook group. I just have my business page. And I don't know if I could actually add a group. I might have to stop sleeping.
Yeah, I know. There's somebody who I know through another some training I did, and I think it's more like a renovation company, but she has really good luck with her group and getting clients, like drawing clients from her group, and she does things. So yeah, I don't know.
That's a good tip. No, yeah.
I mean, I know it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But
just a thing with groups though, and I know Elaine does this and knows this because she has her own group. It does take a bit of management, right? You can't just create the group and just let it be.
Yeah.
Unless you're there interacting.
But I find that even a few times a week isn't, hopping on for lives. It's really not that big of a deal after a bit. People still aren't in my group engaging on their own. Like they won't post, but I don't mind.
That's the live section of Facebook is within a group.
You can. Yeah. 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 So I do live hypnosis for my group.
Yeah. You sent the link. I was trying to go through as we were.
You guys should all join.
Yeah.
I won't make you quack like a duck or anything. And I have other tools I put in there too that people seem to be engaging with. But Efren, you're right. Like when I try to put funny posts in too, like I had a post, it's a meme and it's "What Britney are you?" and it has Britney Spears, people loved that. Or
I actually saw that. That was funny.
What's your coronavirus hairstyle? And people had to put, and I think that it's an anxiety calm kind of like a fixing your anxiety and creating calm group. And so I think having some fun in there, you're right, it does work very well.
So does that answer your question, Lori?
It does. It does.
In terms of the really background, where to find stats.
And there's so many platforms. Sometimes it's overwhelming, right?
It is.
And thus that's why you're good at your job. And I just need to spend a little more time looking around, gawking at Facebook and what the options are.
And I think, and then again, just because I know you have, I don't know if you've cut down from your 10 weekly lives and 20
I have.
videos. Okay, good.
I have. I'm not doing them Mondays and Tuesdays anymore.
Okay,
So it's
good.
just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's it.
Yeah, I think and what I keep repeating always is, I think being constant on it is more important than volume. And then remember that when this is all over, we are going to be doing other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And trying
Other
to.
stuff. What stuff? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was,
What?
but maybe now is the time to be putting systems and processes in place to be able to keep supporting that effort, so that when you're back to business as normal, if you're not in business as normal right now, but when you're back to business as normal, those systems and processes are still running on their own, right?
Mm-hmm. And also, this has been a wonderful time for learning new skills and trying out new stuff, so that when we do go back, we've had the opportunity to try stuff out and to get a little smoother with it. So,
yeah. No, I think, yeah, absolutely. We're looking to send you some videos so that you can edit, now that you're a video editor.
isn't that crazy? I'm so much faster though. My first video took me like a day. It was ridiculous.
I was going to ask you about that, Efren. Is there a good video editing platform? Because I've been using Canva for editing images and posts like that, but do you know a good video editing program?
We use Canva. If it's a longer video, we do Adobe Rush,
Right.
which is a more condensed version of Premiere Pro. And then when we have to do more stuff, actually, we jump into Premiere Pro. We haven't done much with InVideo, although we have it. And another one that I've used in the past successfully, and that it's fairly simple, is Camtasia. Yeah. So there are some options, and most of them have a free trial to give them a try. Lori, what are you using?
Camtasia. My assistant uses Final Cut.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Final Cut is the Apple version of Adobe's Premiere Pro.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, and you can also use iMovie.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? That's absolutely true.
QuickTime Player.
I never got into iMovie, to be honest with you. But it was just because I had used other software before. But yeah, cool. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Adobe Rush is great. Richard, as most of you know, he has an agency out west, and I know he uses Adobe Rush a lot. And I think we lost Jacob. Oh no, he's there. Just no video. Any other questions that we can help you with?
Yeah, I have a kind of a specific question, Efren, if I can ask.
Yeah, of course. Please, Randy.
This is in regards to True North Tiny Homes. And
yes.
I created an event. We're running a seminar in a couple of weeks. We have almost 250 people interested or going on Facebook.
Cool.
And that event is linked to Eventbrite.
Okay.
And we have 1 ticket sold.
That is.
And I entered it. I entered it just as a test. I can bring it up if you want to have a look at it, but I was wondering if you had any thoughts or advice, like what am I doing wrong, or how do I get people that are engaged in Facebook to go to Eventbrite and actually register for the event?
So the tricky part with that is that you did your ad to the event, right? But now remember that you have a second step from sending the people from the event, the Facebook event, right? But now you have a second step, which is sending people from Facebook event into Eventbrite.
Right.
Which means that within your event, you have to start creating the conversation. So I don't know if you guys are doing anything in the event, and I'm going to check right now. What's the event called, Randy?
I think it's either general information seminar or buyer seminar.
Okay,
I can bring it up if you want to see it.
Buyer seminar. Here, it's okay. I'm pretty sure I can bring it up. Let me see. I'm just looking for it right now. Home buyer seminar. Oh my goodness, there's apparently a lot of home buyer seminars. There's a lot of buyer seminars. Hold on.
You know what? That was a really good
general-
moment right there, because Efren went and searched, Randy, what you have put in. And by him saying that there's a whole bunch of them, maybe that's a little moment to, when you're going to do one of these seminars again, to back up, take a look at what your competition is, and title it somehow slightly differently.
It's the one on May 14th, right, Randy?
That's the one.
Okay, and yes, you're absolutely right, Lori. That's a very good point. Okay, cool. So I have it here. There's 20 people that said they're going, and there's 225 people that are interested, but there's 0 posts on the actual event. Right. So, do you mind if I share this event, Randy, on my screen?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, cool. So
Love to get everybody's thoughts and comments on it.
I don't know if you guys have heard, as a side note, as usual, there's a song of this little choreography going on TikTok where they're like, dun, 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 dun. Anyways, I heard it this morning and it's stuck in my head. And every time I'm in pause of doing something, the song comes back. Sorry, just a quick side note there. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No, my son has TikTok, but I just ignore it.
Angie probably knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm probably humming it along with you.
All right, cool. So
addictive.
So this is the event, right?
Yep.
And you're right, you reach a lot of people, you have a bunch of responses. But what I would do is I would start interacting and writing stuff here and putting posts. So I'm not sure what the seminar is about, and that's the other thing. I'm going here and I don't see what the seminar is about.
Yeah,
oh, here it is. Sorry, the details. Never mind. That was my bad. Okay, so for example, we'll be talking to minimalist living, right? So I would write a post or with a picture or even maybe a live video of going like, or even create a poll. What do you guys think minimalist living is? And start getting the people. So now you brought people from the world into your own little universe. And now you have to get those people interacting, engaging, so that now you can actually sell them on the actual purchase of the ticket. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I need to start writing a bunch of posts. I thought I just had to like create the event, provide a little bit of information, and advertise it. And like obviously that's working because I'm getting a lot of interest. A lot of people are saying, "Yeah, I want to go," but nobody is clicking on the ticket link to go to Eventbrite and actually register.
So the event is free, right?
It's actually, we're asking for a donation. So we are asking for a $10 donation that goes towards Creating Roots. Creating Roots is that organization that we work with that is helping people, helping young adults graduate out of the foster care system and not into homelessness, which is about where 50% of them end up.
Boom, you just have your first post right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's nothing mentioned in the event, and I don't know if everybody in the call agrees, but there's nothing mentioned in the event about that. And I think that's a fantastic reason to sign in, right?
Yeah, that is in our Eventbrite. So if you go to our Eventbrite ad, you'll see all the information there.
So
maybe
I would copy, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is maybe I should take some of the stuff that's in Eventbrite and bring it over.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
you should.
Mm.
Like I would actually do each of these as posts.
Yeah.
Wow, there's so
Yeah.
much information here. There is the creating routes. Yeah, so I would actually, here you go. You have your first 6 posts, right? I would actually do the, do you foresee a tiny home in your future? This is your writing. That's
Yeah,
the
use the
picture.
titles. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
wondering about cost? This is your copy right here. And this
You've
is the
got all those
picture.
gems right there. Oh man.
You like that emoji?
So yeah.
Efren, do you ever recommend, so because he has people saying that they're going, right? They've clicked going, but they haven't bought the ticket, right? Or signed up for the ticket. Would you ever recommend personally reaching out to people, like on Messenger, and saying, I noticed you're coming to the
Yeah.
event, you missed a step, here's the link?
Yeah, if you have the time for that, you definitely can. Actually, yeah, you have.
People don't read also, right? So, and I've done this before too, where I'm like, yeah, I want to go, and then I didn't even see that you go to Eventbrite, right? So,
And I think that's part of the messaging. Oh, sorry. Did you guys hear
Ooh.
that?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, guys. I forgot to take that off. Sorry. Let me share the screen again without my computer sound. Oh, that was a good one. Share.
you're just keeping us on our toes.
Exactly, and that's your
Random noises just to
exactly.
wake you up.
Okay, now did I lose you guys? No, you're right here. Oh, I lost my screen share though. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share. Here we go. All right, cool. We're back here, and we're back online. So yes, one example that I always say with that is one of my coaching clients. As you guys know, sometimes I do coach people on this as well. What he's done is the people that have engaged with his content, he actually messages them privately. So he's in the recruiting industry. So if somebody says, "Oh, this is so cool," he'll interact with them on the post, and then he'll actually message them, or he'll put, you know, I'm going to message you directly, and start the conversation offline, right? So yeah, that's definitely something that you can do, Randy, if you or your staff have the time to actually do that, right?
Yeah. That I thought about doing that, but I do not have the time to personally respond to 250 people.
Yeah. So and then, but I think if you start posting stuff here, they're going to see it on their feed, right? Because now there is already, if you look at it from a data bank perspective, right, or Facebook's perspective rather,
Yeah.
from this whole world, they already gave the intention that they're interested in this, right? So
Right.
now, because they're interested in this, the likelihood of them seeing a post from something that they already said they're interested or they're going is much higher than if it's a random post, right?
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, absolutely. I would do basically each one of these as a post. You have posts for the next 5 days.
Should I be posting one a day?
I think you should.
The event is like 2 weeks away, so that's 14 posts. It's not impossible to do.
No, but then I would sprinkle in a few things, right? First of all, that you only have space for 40 people. I know you mentioned it here, but if I liked the post, I probably didn't see this. Right? I would mention, of course, the fact that you have to click on the Eventbrite. You have to go to Eventbrite to register. That the fact that people are saying that they're going here or that they're interested here does not put them into that 40.
Right.
Yes, good idea. Make sure you put the link, your Eventbrite link, on the copy of the post when you're saying that, right? So for example, hey, make sure, thank you very much for the interest and for being interested in minimalist living. We're looking forward to this. Make sure you registered. Here's the link because there's only 40 seats available. And as you get more registrations, I would actually play it up a little bit, right? I would actually even do it now. What date are we in? April 30th. I would actually do it now, right? I would be like, hey, we only have 30 seats or 20 seats. Start creating a little bit more of urgency.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, does that answer your question, Randy?
It does. It does. Thank you. I will start posting. I didn't realize the need. I didn't even understand this spot, what it did. So I will start doing that right away.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And I don't know if anybody else had any thoughts with regards to that. Oh,
I just want to say, like, it was so kind of comical when you went into Randy's post, like that sweetness that was sitting there ready to be chopped up and posted. Yeah, that's awesome.
And sometimes we all have that content, right? And we don't realize that we actually have it. And yeah, Eleni has to go, no worries. Okay, bye, Eleni. Eleni has to go, sorry. Sometimes we realize we have that content somewhere that we've already created, and we're going back in our minds like, oh, I need to create content, but sometimes we already have it. And that is the place where we find most opportunities, where we actually have it, and it's a matter of posting it out, putting it out. Yeah, as Bailey's saying, if you have a website and you have content in your website, that's a prime example of stuff that you should be, or content that you should be posting. And again, you could mix it up, right? You could do a video. You could do, you can direct people to your website if it's a blog. Victoria says, and I don't know if everybody sees on the chat, but Victoria says, I will respond to the 20 people who click going personally, in addition to the posting. There you go. That's Victoria's 2 cents right there, Randy.
Thank you, Victoria.
Anyways, guys, we're coming to the conclusion of today's call. Do we have any other questions? Is there anything else I can help you with today? Anything you're stuck in your marketing efforts, your digital marketing efforts? No?
One other quick question, Efren, just going back to what you were saying before, 10 engagement, 4 informational, 1 conversion. That's just kind of like a ratio. So it should be like do a 3 or 4 engagements and then 1 information and then 3 or 4 engagements and then 1 like that. Okay.
That's absolutely it. So out of 15 posts, in total of the 15, you do 10 for 1, but then we would do, I think we do 3, 1, 2, 1, and I'm looking at Bailey because I may be making this up. But we do it in a ratio. I know we actually split it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Randy. Jacob, anything else? I see you unmuted yourself. You came back to the camera.
Yeah, I just had a question on how to increase your followers or your connections to kind of increase your target that you're gonna market your post to.
Good question.
Kind of struggling with that right now.
Yeah, fantastic question. When you hear people say that organic reach is dead, they're right. We look at about 1% of the people that like your page are actually going to see, on average, are actually going to see your content. That means that if you have 100 people that like your page, only 1 is going to see it. The best way is that little boost button that you see on your post, and budget maybe $25, $30 per week. And again, it's all relative to your thing, to your budget, to your own marketing budget. But put $25 for a week or $20 for a week in an audience that you think is going to resonate more with you, with your own audience, and that is going to help expand. So that's the first step. The second one is everybody that actually likes or engages with your post, make sure you invite them to like the page, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a bit of a grind. I won't lie to you. But it's literally the only way we can actually get it going, right? Your lowest hanging fruit though should be your friends on Facebook, for example. Like how many friends do you have on Facebook?
About 400.
There you go. So that's your first 400 that you're going to go send an invite. And if you have a closer group of people, I would actually send a private message, right? Going like, hey guys, I just opened my page. You know, I'm going to be sharing amazing information about my financial services. I would really appreciate if you could like it.
Okay. And can that boost feature be used on Instagram as well, or just Facebook? Like, is it the same type of thing?
You can boost posts on Instagram. Hold on. We actually run it for both at the same time. So I don't know if you can only do it for one. You can't just do it for one. No, you would have to actually do the post on Facebook, and then you should have your Facebook page connected to your Instagram. And then in your placements, you should be able to just boost it, and it'll boost automatically to both.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. That's a great question. Thank you, Jacob. And yeah, anything else, guys, that I can help you with today? No?
Great
No.
tips.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you. That's it for today, guys. Again, once again, thank you so much for joining us and for supporting us through these times. I'm looking for the non-show. Here it is. I'm just gonna stop sharing so I can go full screen. Once again, you guys know I try to be very positive. I don't know if you guys feel the same way I feel, but I'm starting to see the light at the end of this tunnel that we've been in. I'd like to think that we are coming out of this, hopefully with new skills, like Lori was mentioning, and new skills that we're going to be able to apply in our day-to-day business when we go back to the new normal that we're going to go back to, that I think is going to be sooner rather than later. But anyways, please, everybody, stay safe. Stay as positive as you can. And hopefully see you all next week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks,
Nice seeing
Efren.
you all. More than welcome. Thank you.